Okay, everybody, welcome back. Hope you got your second or third cup of coffee. I know I did. um, the next session, we're going to go into basically uncharted territory. We have not been doing patrols, and there's been very little activity as far as offer for uses, facility management, facility inspections, and stuff. The radio guys kind of got into it a little bit recently. And Bill Schultz is going to give another brief on the radio side. But what we're going to start with is a boat, an offer for use for a boat. And I'm going to try and go through in Sandbox the entire process from a member has a boat, they want to offer it for use, they'll fill out their 7003 form online now. Basically, you'll do it all through the system, at least as far as the interface with Dirox is concerned and the OTO. So we're gonna do an offer for use. We're gonna do a facility inspection. Dirox will hopefully approve it. The OTO will approve it, and then we'll have an actual facility operational. It will go from there to a patrol order request from the OIA. The OIA says you got it. You have an active patrol order, and then we're going to show how to complete. Fill out, submit, and complete a patrol order. In AOM, it used to be called filling out your itinerary. Now it's different, but we're going to go through all that. So that's going to be the meat of the next hour, basically. Before I dive into that, were there any questions that came up during the break that a moderator thinks we should address now? Okay, I don't hear anything. So, facilities. This is the new AOM, both facilities here, facility inspections. It's more than AOM, it's AOM and the whole facility management side, which is patrol orders, facility inspections, facilities. Okay, so these are all the things, again, we're going to talk about. We're going to start with facilities. You're going to have your list view just like any of the other tabs up here, but we're going to create a new one. This is how we start the process. First thing it asks you, what kind of facility is it? You can see all the options here. All of them are available online through AUXDATA II. We're going to start with, we're going to do a boat today. So select boat, select next. Registration is going to be, in the case of a boat, you should know your registration, and whether it's a U.S. Coast Guard documented vessel or a California or whatever state registration number. I'm going to do Delta Delta just for a test one. This is in the Sandbox. Facility name, how about Sandbox 1? Okay. What type? Now, any kind of boat that there is out there, you're going to be able to find what you are. Hopefully, let's just say we're a center console that we're going to offer for use. Unit name, your home unit is the one you want to use, in my case, Dana Point. Availability, these are all the same questions that would be on the 7003. You're still going to want to print out and have available your 7003 because two reasons. It's going to be used as a checklist for the inspector and the owner of the vessel as they go through the offer for use process. And it's also going to be scanned and copied in as one of the files that's submitted to the to Dirox/OTO for approval. Okay. What year was it? When start date is basically the start date that you're offering it for use. Okay. And then obviously end date would be if you withdrew that authorization for use. And then the rest of the equipment. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly because this is all kind of self-explanatory. City and state, whether it's trailered or not, manufacturer, and the model. Okay. Power. Let's say it's an outboard. I'm going to skip all the generators, bunks, heads, and stuff, and we'll just go with a basic length of 30 feet. A basic beam, let's just say 8 feet, and a draft, let's just say 3. Again, you'd obviously be filling this out for actual numbers. I don't think any of this is required at this point, so I'm going to try and skip it just for brevity, since this is a demonstration. Okay, all waters, I will fill that out. I'm going to put the location in because this can be semi confusing possibly. So the degrees of latitude, let's just say 33. Let's just say 35 for minutes, and then it's going to be north, obviously, 117. We use 30, and west, obviously. Okay, let's see if it takes that. We'll go save. Yes, it let us get this far. Now we have a facility that's new. Status is new, hasn't been accepted yet. And the unit name there, the type, registration, and all the information that we filled out. And again, wherever in AUXDATA II you see a pencil icon, it should enable you to edit it. So you can make changes. You don't have to necessarily do it all on that first page. We could add stuff along the way here, okay? But there is some things that we have to add to make this facility actually work and be able to be improved. One thing we have to add is who the owner is, right up front, okay? So over here on the right-hand side where you see facility ownership, you're gonna click new. It's not owned by a unit. In this case, it's a member. Next, and you're gonna go, that's the facility. Yes, this is a new facility number. There's AUX25, that's my sandbox guy, and ownership type, okay? He's the sole owner. So go ahead and save it. Now the system knows who the owner is. It's going to allow you to submit patrol orders and stuff because it needs to know who's going to get paid and who's responsible. All right. The other thing that is required is an engine if you're going to submit for SAMA, which is basically your maintenance cost. It's all based on some engine data. So that is a required field. And I'm just going to make something up here really quick. And horsepower, let's say, it's a big one, 400. All right, and year. Okay. So now we have an engine or multiple engines. You would make a new entry for each engine that you have. If you have 2 engines, 2 entries. Facility ownership, and you would also add other owners here if appropriate for the facility that you're offering for use. We're ready to request an inspection now. Bill's going to go through again on the radio side for facility inspections. The process is basically the same. From this page, we can go to facility inspections new. Okay. We're going to select the record type, in this case, boat. Next. All right. Now, red asterisk means required field, as you could guess. Requested inspection date. We're gonna be really optimistic and request it today, okay? Because I want to follow this example through. So we're requesting an inspection today, and we could do that because the inspector is me. Obviously, you wouldn't be actually inspecting your own vessel. I think I saw a question in chat even before the session started about who can inspect OPVACs. Generally, in the old system, at least policy-wise, in District 11, was any vessel examiner. The OTO, though, the current OTO established a policy pre-COVID where you need a QE. You need both a qualified vessel examiner and a QE for an OPVAC inspection. I believe that has been waived while we're in COVID because obviously getting more people on a vessel, it would be contrary to policy, COVID policy. But don't quote me on that. Generally speaking, though, once we're back to normal, the policy from our OTO is that you need a vessel examiner and a QE. He has said that he wants all QEs to also be vessel examiners, so it's not necessarily going to have to be 2 people. But what do you have to know for your offer for use? Just that you put a qualified person in here, probably going to be a QE who's also a vessel examiner if it's up someplace down the road. Inspection date, you don't know yet for sure, so that stays blank. DIROX, you're going to put Robert F. DeVoy in the real world. I believe Leslie B. Pelosi works too. They're both kind of the DIROX account people, even though it's the OTO that's actually going to be accepting an offer for use. The way it's set up in AUXDATA II in production, in the actual version, Robert F. DuBois. But to make this work today, I have a Dirox sandbox account, which is me. So I'm both offering for use, I'm inspecting, and I'm going to approve it too. A wonderful sandbox world. Okay, so we save that. Now we have a facility inspection number, 22686. To move the process along, we're going to go click on, this is a hyperlink for this facility inspection. Click on it, and now the facility inspection page comes up, and you can see the information we filled out. It's the facility, when we want it, who's going to do it, and we're going to edit this to the actual date. Okay, the inspection date is today. The guy's like on it, and we're going to save that. Now we have this option up here in the upper right, submit for approval. I realize that there are a lot of steps here, and you can take notes, and you're probably going to get lost. So again, this is going to be something, especially initially, you're probably going to want to get an IS officer on the phone to walk you through it the first time. I'm betting. Anyway, this is the next step, submit for approval. And what you're doing basically is submitting the inspection for approval. Now, files here, upload files, all the same documentation that would be required if it was a fully, just a paper inspection and a paper submission. So you're going to also submit a copy of the DMV registration or the Coast Guard documentation certificate if applicable. Pictures, our district likes to see pictures front, both sides and rear if possible for the facilities. All of this stuff, it's much easier now with AUXDATA II to upload the files. You can just drop them right in there, and it all goes in as part of the package. But the owner is going to submit for approval, and submit. You can put whatever you want or no comments, but I'm just going to put in submit approval request. Okay, and now you can see we have an actual approval history started. One, it was submitted and it's pending. And who's it assigned to? AUX25 user. That can be confusing because of this demonstration where AUX25 is both the submitting member and also the vessel examiner who it's pending for, okay? Try and bear in mind that these will be two different people in the real world. And what we're demonstrating right now is what the vessel examiner will see, and he or she will see an approve button. And that's not approving the facility for use. What it is doing is approving the inspection. The inspection is complete to the satisfaction of the inspector. Okay, so I'm going to click approve. Approve facility. Okay. Now the facility inspection approval is pending, and the status has changed. If we're going to go back to this inspection record 22686, you can see the status has changed to Dirox review. And over here in approval history, you can see Dirox pending, and it would say Robert F. DuBois there, assigned to. I do have that Dirox account. I'm not going to take the time to go in and actually approve this facility, but that is all that would happen at this point. Is now it's out of your hands, the owner and the inspector. It's out of your hands. When it says status Dirox review, that means it's on the OTO's desk. The OTO from his account is going to go in and look at everything. If he likes it, if it's a thumbs up, he's going to edit the status to approved, and you'll get notification, and you will have an actual facility call sign, alpha number assigned, etc. Okay, so that's it as far as an offer for use and vessel OPBAC inspection process. I'm gonna stop right here, see if there's any questions or confusion really quickly before we go into what I'll do is use a facility that's already been approved to press forward with the rest of the demonstration. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go in, click more. I'm going to click, actually, we'll go here to facilities. And these are all the facilities that I've recently viewed. Some of them are for AUX25, some of them are for other people. But basically, like I said, we're going to assume that we already have an approved vessel, OPVAC, and I'll probably use this one here, 4567XX. But how do we make a request to the OIA? So now we're simulating what used to be AOM. You're going to go more, and you're going to go requests. Okay. These are requests in the list that I've created. That could be for you, could be for somebody else. You don't care. What you want to do when you're making a new request, basically to the OIA, is you're going to click new. Okay, you click new. I'm not. It wouldn't have been my choice to put new requests and have both patrol requests and service requests in the same area, but that's the way they did it, and that's what it is. So don't get confused. Patrol request is what you want when you're making a patrol request. Service request is another word for a help ticket. All right, through the system. All right, so patrol request is what we want. We're going to click next, and here we go. All right, so let's use my 23489XX, which is an approved facility. All right, so you select your actual facility, and this can be a little bit confusing too. It's not going to come up here and say whatever your boat name is. It's going to have this facility number. Let me go back to the X though. You can see the registrations are there. So you'll be able to figure out which one is the one you want if you see a bunch of them. You may only see yours anyway. All right. Facility owner is operator in this case. Operator is AUX25. Facility owner is also AUX25. Patrol date. We want to do one today. We don't have the 2-week rule in the sandbox world. We can request one right now. Okay, so we're going to do midday. Facility type is a boat. Patrol type, let's say we're going to do a mom patrol with some training mixed in. Okay, status is new. Reimburse. This is a sandboxism. I've got to click no reimbursement, even though I'd rather get reimbursed. The reason for that is there is a validation built into even Sandbox where if the owner doesn't have a EFT, electronic funds transfer, filed with FinCEN, it's going to kick it back. So no reimbursement, we found out works. I put DP area. And then in description, what the OIA is like is some kind of, just like we did in AOM, some kind of a description of the patrol you're going to do. So I'm going to put Dana Point, mom of AOR, or area of responsibility, and training. And then sometimes they like to see fuel, so max fuel, let's just say $30. Okay, then you click save. Now we have a patrol request that has been sent to the OIA 26563. Okay, and we have a OIA in Boston that is hopefully looking at this and going to approve it. So we're going to see requests. Okay. Okay. I don't see the one that I just requested approval from. That doesn't matter because I can use any of these to demonstrate what the process is once we do have a patrol order. Okay. You will not see a patrol order, a PO number, until the OIA actually has approved it. These are the different statuses. Completed means you've not only completed the actual patrol, but you've completed the submitting the patrol order through the OIA to Finance Center. So let's just take this maritime one here for 12:15, and I'm going to select this patrol order for demo purposes. This should work. This should work. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at the patrol order that we requested to the OIA and was approved. And we can see the facility number. We can see crew requirement met with an X. There is a validation built in here, which balances the facility minimum crew with who you have populated as crew. Automatically, the lead is populated in this case, AUX 25. The rest aren't yet, so we're going to see that X until we do that. We're on details, and we're going to just run down the left and right side to make sure it's all the way we want it. And so far it is. So far it is. All looks good. Approved. If you canceled it, if for some reason you didn't go on the patrol, an approved patrol, they do want you to cancel it. You would do that here. Okay. You'd change the status to canceled, and you would put a cancellation reason in. What we're simulating here is that we actually did this patrol, because there's quite a few steps to completing a patrol and submitting it. All right. Again, there's the patrol type, the date, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to go right over here to the right side. First thing we're going to do is add our crew. All right. The lead's in there, the coxswain's in there. We're going to click new. And what you do is just start typing a member's name. So, and actually we have real patrol orders approved for the 17th. And this gentleman is one of the crew members. Date applied is for somebody that applies for crew. We don't have to fill that out now, or date decided. They're not active duty. And this is also where, for those of you coxswain and owners that were used to the old AOM, this is where we fill out based on the times, whether we provide lunch or whatever for the crew. Okay, so I'm going to leave that blank now. I'm just pointing out that this is where you'd select it to be reimbursed for that. Angelo is going to be a non-lead. He's qualified, and we're going to save that. Now we have two. Notice the red X is still there. We have not met our min crew yet. We're going to add another crew member. And there's Steve Fiorillo. Again, we don't have to put in date applied or decided. We're going to put his position as non-lead. He is certified, qualified. No meals right now. We're going to click save. And as you can see, crew requirement is now met. With that green check mark, you're going to be able to, when the time is right, submit this to the OIA. But what used to be called itinerary in AOM is now activities. This is going to look familiar because it uses the same process as all of our activity logs, okay? Slightly different, and I'm going to demo that now. We're going to create a new activity to start the actual itinerary of the patrol. This will be done post-patrol. So you click new next to activities. It's going to be boat this time because you're under orders and you're on a boat. So you're going to select boat. You're going to select next. All right. Facilities. There it is. 8, 9. Waters, navigable. Review status, we're going to change later. Mission code, start all marine patrols with 01 Delta. That's a requirement. OIA is supposed to kick it back if you don't do that. Basically what it means is that's your pre-underway brief time, okay? We did it today, we're doing it today. Let's say at noon. And let's say we did a 30-minute pre-underway brief, which would be 0.5 actually. Okay. Click save. Here's the validation. Please make sure mission start time is equal to the patrol date or within 1 day. So cancel out of that. This is the 15th. It because I trying to do activities for a patrol that the date is in the future, it may not let me do this. Okay, so bear with me while I demonstrate. Though, again, what you do here is fill in the facility. It's going to default the unit. You're going to select the waters. Okay, we're going to put the mission code 01 Delta in this case. Then when we're going to save that activity and we're going to populate that field with the crew. In production, clone will work eventually, so you'll be able to save time there. The second, in this case, mission code is going to be maritime observation. And again, we're going to fill out the mission start time, the duration, and a summary of activities. What you'll do in sequence, hopefully this makes sense, and I apologize that the demo is not perfect, but you'll be entering these new activities boat right from this patrol order screen for each separate mission code for that particular patrol. Remember, you need to start with a 01 Delta, a pre-underway brief. You'll have your mission time, whether it be 01A or 22 for training or whatever it is, regatta patrol, whatever it is. If you have a break, you'll put more 01D time, just like we used to do in AOM. And the coxswains and the owners will be familiar with that, and they'll pick this up quickly. And you'll have to populate the crew for each of those missions. Once you're done, you'll click save. Okay, and you would have a list of activities here. Then, again, post patrol, if you, let's say you filled up your gas tank, you're going to have a receipt. This is where the receipt, upload files. That's probably the only document that you're going to throw in here. Although you could throw other things in here if you so choose. Like maybe if there was a SAR mission and you had some SAR paperwork, you could throw it in here to attach it to the patrol order. Or you may want to put your pre-underway GAR sheet in here. That's optional stuff. The one you're definitely going to want to put in here is your fuel receipt. Okay, and then you would also fill out, I'm not going to take the time to do it because it's pretty self-explanatory, but you're going to put in, just like we did in old AOM, your gallons of fuel and your engine hours. In fact, this is a validation. If you don't put in this, it will not accept a fuel expense. Okay, gallons of fuel, engine hours, and then you put your fuel expenses and any additional expenses. Okay, and then you would save it. Final step would be to change the status from approved to completed. I missed one step. Let me go back down here. Just like AOM, you have to sign. You have to signature of operator, okay, and signature of claimant. And luckily, we don't have to put our passwords in. You just click on the actual user and put a check mark there, and it's going to take it both for operator and for claimant. Then now you're finally ready to actually change it from approved to completed, and it'll go to the OIA. The other option here, submitted, that's what it'll change to when the OIA looks at it and submits it to the finance center. Okay, I'm going to pause there. There are probably some questions, and the moderators, feel free to jump in if there are. We're going to go through this process. Actually, Bill Schultz is going to go through the process using my screen. So you're going to get to see this again. You're going to get to see the offer for use again. You're going to get to see the facility inspection process again. You're going to get to see a patrol order request and a patrol again. So, and we'll try and pick a patrol date that was behind us, not ahead of us.
Okay, Chris, we've got something that might take a little bit more typing, so I'll let you answer this. An AV going out on an 8-ton patrol. The question is, does he enter his 8-ton activity using checking, accessing the patrol orders, which is not correct. The AV would, of course, do the paperwork and enter those himself, or send it to the DSO NS. Maybe you can clarify that a little bit. If you look at the chat, you'll see that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, you're right. It would not be the specific ATON mission codes, the 30, 31s, whatever they are, would not be entered here directly on the patrol order. The whoever the ATON verifiers are, assuming this is an op-back patrol out on the water, then they would be listed as part of the crew, whether they're non-lead, if they're qualified, or trainees otherwise, and they're going to get credit for the time that the patrol is underway. For the standby time and the actual underway time. The ATON specific mission code stuff, they're going to have to enter like they've always done on their own separately.
Okay, so an AV on an op-vac on the water is considered crew.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the way it was in Legacy AOM as well. Nothing's changed as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, been confusion on that.
Right. Okay, any other questions? And if not, I'm gonna have Bill unmute and
Yeah, Chris.
jump in. Yeah,
Chris?
go ahead.
Norm Bundick. I had a radio facility. My car was a radio facility. And it was offered, if I can actually do orders like an OpVac. And yet that doesn't show up in my record. Any questions on that? Because we have a lot of people that go on radio patrols with our vehicles.
I'll ask Bill if he knows the answer to that, and I don't off the top of my head, so we can research it and I'll get back to you offline, Norm.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Norm.
Yeah.
So I think we had actually, that's a good question. There's a few other questions on the chat with folks not being able to find their facilities in the list. So I was able to locate a couple, and I think I actually see one for you listed. I think what's happening is if you go under the facilities menu, right, the default view is recently viewed. So if you haven't looked at a record before, then that list is empty. It came up empty for me because I wasn't looking at facilities. And if you just do the search box from there, it only searches what's already viewable. So it's always going to come up empty. So what you have to do is go to all operational facilities, right? That shows everything. And even in there, as I put stuff in the search box, nothing came up as I put in folks' owners' last names. So I don't think that search function worked real well. But what did work was if there's a column for owner and I just sorted it by owner last name and scrolled down to the person, and then there I found the record. So
okay, well, I show as a radio facility, but not my vehicle. Is it showing a vehicle?
Let me jump in here, and Norm and Tyler. Those are all great points and great questions. And Tyler's exactly right. You can have like this list I see even in Sandbox. I've got a D11S facilities list. What I have found in general through the whole system is this sub search here, search this list, is really hard to use and not very functional. Global search works better. But having said that, the best way to find your own facility is go to your own member page. Okay, you go to your own member page, and I'll use myself as an example. Okay, and then you go to related. And this is where you'll see at a glance, without having to mess with any lists, any facility that is credited to you for ownership.
Right, that's why I'm saying I've been in there and it only shows my radio. It does not show my vehicle.
Then it's probably not in the system, either because it didn't migrate correctly from legacy to current or not. We'll get together with you, Norm, offline and see what happened to it.
Thank you.
You bet.